Now on CoastTV News.
The well-known Biden barn on Route 1 gone. Why the owner tore it down.
New coastal highway speed limits.
Dogs on Slaughter Beach. Locals push back as dog ban sparks tension with wildlife officials.
Geese in Georgetown stirring up debate on how to properly handle them.
And we've had calls, we've had people that are speaking to us from the Millsboro area. We'll talk about the idea of smoke in the area and what happened there, and if we're going to see more of this kind of smoke going into tomorrow.
This is CoastTV News at 5.
An iconic barn off of Route 1 now gone. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 5. We begin tonight with the demolition of the Biden barn.
If you're driving south on Route 1, you might remember that barn with the words Biden written across it for years. Coast TV News reporter Ana Sofia Roman is in the newsroom. Ana Sofia, you spoke with the owner of that property.
Maddie, the owner told me the primary concern for that demolition was as the structure was falling apart and had become unsafe, especially with his grandsons living next door.
Driving up and down Route 1 by the Argo Corner area in Lincoln will look different now. The well-known Biden barn is demolished. Owner and Delaware Secretary of Agriculture John Clifton says the iconic structure was built in the 1920s as a dairy barn, well before its popularity.
As small dairies became financially unviable, barns like this became less and less useful, and so eventually came time to take it down, but I delayed it for quite a number of years.
Another reason for demolition was the need for more space to fit their large equipment. Clifton says in October 2020, he came up with the idea of painting the Biden name on the northern-facing wall of the barn.
I did it because I appreciated Joe Biden for the service that he had already provided the country and the state of Delaware.
Clifton tells me all the demolition should be completed by the end of the week.
Drivers like Barbara Woods says it's sad to see it go.
The Biden barn? Oh my God, I'm going to miss it. I used to look forward to coming into Delaware when I first moved here.
Others like Charlotte McCafferty say it was just Tuesday when she last drove by.
I'm surprised it's coming down, but he's got to do what he's got to do.
The barn also represents a piece of Clifton's roots.
It's progress, but at the same time, you have a lot of memories about working in the barn as when I was a kid, raising calves in the barn, and there's a lot of memories that come flooding back, which can be pleasant as well.
An iconic barn in Sussex County, now gone, but still remembered by many who passed it.
Clifton says the new construction of the new storage building is expected to begin during their off-season in about 8 months. Back to you.
Thank you, Ana Sofia. And further up Route 1 near Slaughter Beach, you might have seen this old brown farmhouse. The 100-year-old home is going to be demolished this year. The man who leases the property says it's just too old for repair. The produce stand on the land is being fully revitalized with the goal of being open this summer.
This brings us to our Coast TV poll this evening. We want to know what best described the Biden barn to you.
Let's take a look at the results so far. Take a look at your screen, and 50% say eyesore, 41% say local icon. All the other options here getting a little bit of the vote.
I wonder if we'll see some smattering of votes around as we let the evening go on. If you haven't voted yet, you can still do that at coasttv.com or use the Coast TV mobile app. If you've been driving on Coastal Highway south of Dewey Beach, you might have noticed there's a new speed limit. It is down from 55 to 50 and even lower in some other stretches. Coast TV News reporter Brandon Ferguson live on Coastal Highway. Brandon, you're where these new speed limits are.
Charlie, we are heading northbound on Coastal Highway towards Dewey Beach, just past the Indian River Inlet Bridge. And this is where these new speed limits are taking place. It used to be 55, and now we're at 50. And we're going to show you on your screen now the new 50-mile-an-hour signs. And DelDOT says this change was made because there was an increase in speeding in the area and for pedestrian safety. One local Coast TV spoke with says if the rules of the road are not followed, she has seen what happens.
The devastating accidents that happen here constantly, and I think just like any other place, I think they can be avoided if everyone did adhere to the speed limit.
We are now coming up to one of the most drastic changes made by DelDOT heading northbound into Dewey Beach. When you get to Key Box Road, it is now 35 miles an hour. We're approaching the warning signs for the 35 here right now. And this is before you get to the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit set in Dewey Beach. Live on Coastal Highway, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
For some people in Slaughter Beach, they say taking their dogs for a stroll on the sand has been their norm for years. But just recently, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service put up signs saying no dogs could be on the south end of the beach. They say dogs have been banned for years to protect the wildlife there, and the rule just wasn't actually enforced. But locals say they had no idea dogs weren't allowed, and they're asking for it to be reversed.
It was just the thought of our everyday life for some people for 14 plus years being completely disrupted by this sign without notice and without warning and without any reasoning for doing it.
Sober and her neighbors started this petition and even sent a letter to the U.S. Department of the Interior to try to get this rule changed.
It's day 2 of a rapidly growing wildfire in southern New Jersey. Tens of thousands of people without power for hours on Tuesday. Voluntary and mandatory evacuations were ordered for about 5,000 people. Thankfully, nobody has been hurt. No homes have been destroyed. One New Jersey official says this fire could possibly end up being the largest wildfire in the state in 20 years.
As we continue to get this under full control, the expectation is that that number of acres will grow and grow in a place that is unpopulated, that is more open wilderness.
The wildfire stands at about 12,000 acres and 35% containment.
With all this in mind, let's go ahead and take a live look outside into Laurel. And according to Sussex County's Department of Public Safety, due to shifting winds, smoke has traveled down south to our area. No threat, but you might notice, you see it here, a little bit of a haze or odor. Let's check in with Paul, who's been watching this.
So, a couple of things to keep in mind. First of all, we continue to track what's happening with that smoke, and that's really coming out of portions of New Jersey. So right here near Lacey is where it's located at this point, and we do have an air quality alert that's connected to all the smoke that's pluming into the atmosphere. And this is what we call a mesoscale movement, or a small scale movement, that's causing some concern for us. So we've actually picked up just a little bit of the wisp of the smoke that's pushing through, and we have a push that's coming off of the water. So we've actually been downgraded to moderate throughout central and southern portions of the entire Delmarva Peninsula. But even more so, we take a look at our future smoke, because this is a tracking model that we have. And so as we go into 12 noon, about lunchtime for Thursday, we have right now, according to our future smoke modeling, that we could see that happen throughout Seaford, Salisbury, Rehoboth Beach. All of this is a result of the smoke that's beginning to kind of circulate throughout the mid-Atlantic region, generally speaking. Not seeing it causing a tremendous problem, but it's something to keep in mind, particularly if you're sensitive to smoke or you have chronic breathing issues. Now, coming up, we're going to be talking about another thing that may affect your breathing, Maddie, and that's the high pollen count that's also in the mix.
Two women in Georgetown say they're trying to protect their geese population in their community from their HOA. Coast TV spoke with the HOA president, who say the geese were a problem years ago, and they actually have a federal permit to get rid of the geese eggs. But these women say the geese are being, quote, annihilated, and they actually compare it to the annihilation of people during World War II.
That's absolutely unacceptable. You annihilate one species and then you're going to annihilate the next one because you don't like that one either.
Coast TV did reach out to DENREC to learn about their role in this matter, if at all. They said they were not able to provide a statement. The women say, though, they might try to start a nature club to help.
Springfest is almost here. What you can expect at this year's annual event in Ocean City.
And we take a look at our next 12 hours. Look for sunshine to continue throughout the rest of the night. We will drop down to 50 degrees late tonight, and we're going to start sneezing and wheezing too.
Wall Street rebounds after weeks of tension over tariffs. Up next.
This is Coast TV News at 5.
After weeks of market swings and uncertainty, Wall Street showing some signs of recovery.
NBC's Ryan Nobles shows us what may have calmed investors.
A Wall Street rally after weeks of uncertainty triggered by President Trump's on-again, off-again tariff policies. Today, he appeared to take a step back from escalating a trade war with China.
We are going to have a fair deal with China. It's going to be fair.
But high-level talks haven't started yet. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying he doesn't, quote, think either side believes the current tariff levels are sustainable and that China needs to rebalance its economy.
China's current economic model is built on exporting its way out of its economic troubles. China needs to change. The country knows it needs to change.
Trump trying to calm anxiety that tariff talks with other nations are going well.
Every country wants to partake, even countries that have ripped us off for many, many years.
The change in temperature comes after the stock market took a beating, and consumers fear the economy is taking a hit because of the administration's policies. A new Reuters Ipsos poll shows inflation, the cost of living, and recession are the biggest worries for Americans already struggling to make ends meet and small businesses trying to predict the president's next move.
We do know that we're going to see increases because we've already had discussions with both our distributors and our importers. It's just when a business's costs get raised, it has to get passed on.
Ryan Nobles, NBC News, Washington.
Here's a look at your Bay forecast. Thursday, we're looking forward to 76 degrees with a few scattered clouds, 77 on Friday. But here comes a few scattered showers on Saturday. We'll talk about that in more detail coming up. Ironically enough, today seems to be more about how easily we cannot breathe for the next couple of days, with whether it's dealing with the smoke, which a lot of folks called in and wrote us in about that, but also about the concern with the allergy count. Now, our Irish Eyes camera in Lewis, we have thick cloud cover in place and 66 degrees. But we're still going to talk a little bit more about the pollen count and a lot of those other things before we get to the rain, likely on Saturday. We'll drop to 56 degrees by 9 o'clock under mostly clear skies. Really mild conditions at this point. We're at 57 in Rehoboth Beach, but we're at 74 in Seaford, 75 right now in Bridgeville, and a cooler 66 degrees in Del Mar. Winds coming off of the water, only gusting at about, let's say, 8 to 9 miles per hour. That's as much damage as we're dealing with right now. But that also carried that bit of smoke in our general direction that a lot of folks in Millsboro called in and really wrote in about on our page. Now, this is what's happening. You see, this is where that smoke began over towards between Lacey and Fork River, and then it began to kind of swing its way over towards us. Now, we have an air quality alert that's in effect for the Cape May area. Now, that's not in our immediate area, but it kind of lets you know just how much of an influence those 12,000 acres that are on fire right now is having throughout the Mid-Atlantic as a whole. High pressure is in control of our weather, so we have circulation that's clockwise. And so with clockwise circulation, here we go, the basics of upper thermodynamic meteorology, just swinging it right around on top of us. So we may have another round that may visit us for Thursday around lunchtime. Our air quality has been downgraded to moderate from good, and here's the latest look at how that model's swinging that towards us. So by 12:30, we'll see it from Rehoboth Beach, central part of Sussex, all the way towards Seaford and down towards the Salisbury area. So don't be surprised if we have a reoccurrence of that smoke situation. 49 for the overnight low for Millsboro and 49 for Ocean Pines. We're looking for sunshine, a smoky morning, but beautiful wall-to-wall sunshine. Friday, we're high tree pollen. Late clouds and rain will move in on Saturday. So we got a lot of things dealing with upper atmosphere and conditions as far as breathing is concerned. And the pollen count is sky high for oak, ash, birch, and maple. Now, terrific on the Delmarva for the highs tomorrow. Temperature 77 for Laurel, 62 Rehoboth Beach. Closer to the water you are, the cooler you are. 78 for the high in Cambridge. And we're looking at the winds that push out of the southeast at about 10 to 15 miles per hour for us in Berlin at 71. 71, by the way, in Snow Hill. For Thursday morning, we start off in the 60s. We rise into the 70s briefly, but we start seeing cloud cover thicken up for us a little bit. And then for Friday, the winds will be shifting out of the southeast and we'll have temperatures in the mid-70s by then. Saturday early in the morning, we're watching out for precipitation to begin to form to our west. A 63% chance of rain, so that's going on the increase with our chances of rain, but it's primarily on that one day. So here's that slice of precipitation making its way through the day by 8 o'clock and then by 5 o'clock, and then really won't clear until the late night hours. So I'm looking for Saturday to be a soggy type of a day, but temperatures will be above the norm for this time of year from April 30th to May the 6th. So it's going to be warmer. That's a good thing. Tonight, 47, clear skies and just a slight chill. Terrific day for tomorrow. 76 degrees, winds out of the southeast. Friday, even more terrific. Or can I say this word? Terrificer? We'll use that, okay? Sunny skies and 77 degrees, but increasing cloud cover as going to the evening hours. And then finally, we got to talk about rain because we're looking for rain and chances of a thunderstorm, by the way, on Saturday. And there's just enough energy where we have to maybe watch out for a thunderstorm to push through, Maddie. But overall, still pretty nice when you consider only one day for that possibility of storms.
Paul, thank you. And hey, great weather in Ocean City for Spring Fest tomorrow. Located at the Inlet Lot on the south end of the city, Spring Fest will feature live music, arts and crafts, food and drinks. The free admission festival runs Thursday to Sunday. And for parking information and other helpful tips to enjoy Spring Fest, you can visit CoastTV.com.
Coming up this Friday and Saturday, head on over to the Harrington Fairgrounds for the DSN Outdoor Expo. It is a free, family-friendly event. It's on Friday from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m., then Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Outdoor Expo, it is your one-stop shop for everything outdoor.
We salute Jennifer Tremont. Jennifer Tremont served with pride as a B-52 bomb loader during the Persian Gulf War, carrying on the legacy of a third-generation military family. In her 5th year of active duty, her greatest challenge arose. Her infant son was diagnosed with brain cancer. Jennifer made the brave decision to step away from her military dream to become his sole caretaker, traveling from her duty station in Louisiana to Memphis for treatment. For nearly 2 years, she fought a different kind of battle, with unwavering strength, love, and dedication. Today, her son remains stable at age 25. We salute Jennifer Tremont for her selfless service both as an airman and as a devoted mother.
Spicer Brothers and Coast TV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a Coast TV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Word of potential budget cuts at Salisbury University has sparked concern among students, and some of them are speaking out about it. These students were out on campus today, passing out flyers, telling other students about what could possibly come of those potential cuts. They say they fear some classes might be canceled, class sizes might grow, and some professors might even lose their jobs.
It's essential that students are informed about this, that parents keep themselves educated. Faculty, of course, know about this quite well, but they've because it's going to affect their jobs and what they're able to do as teachers and professors.
In a statement, university spokesperson Jason Rhodes confirmed this university will have to trim its budget following the state's budget deficit. He says the university is working with staff and students representatives to determine the best way to do so while maintaining, quote, quality educational opportunities for which SU is known.
Coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network at 7, the Green Jackets versus the Shorebirds. We got some baseball, then the final score at 10:30. Over on DSN Plus at 5:30, watch girls soccer at Holly Grove. Christian takes on Arcadia. Then at 6:30, James M. Bennett plays Parkside in girls lacrosse. Let's take one more look outside into Ocean City and check on your forecast right after this. Into the Trenches is back for its 3rd season. This year, we follow the Cape Henlopen Vikings football team, fresh off their first state championship appearance in 40 years. Into the Trenches premieres Thursday at 7:30 on DSN and DSN+.
Our Bay Health camera, Milford, 67 degrees. We'll drop down to 59 under mostly clear skies. By the way, the DSN Expo at the Delaware State Fairgrounds in Harrington, Friday from 3 to 8 p.m. We're looking at pretty good weather with winds primarily out of the southeast. John Cellini of Bethany Beach, you're our new umbrella giveaway winner, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, sponsored by the law offices of Brockstead, Mandalis, and Federico. And finally, Here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast.
All right, Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 5.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
Inside Edition is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great evening.